Hey everyone. Um, I haven't put a video up in a while, and I get a lot of my friends and they ask me, how much did it cost you to build R2? And I always give them a ballpark figure because I was never 100% sure. Today what I've done is I've broken it down into what I've done and a rough idea of how much it's going to cost for each things. Please take note that some things would have gone up, maybe some gone down, depending on where you are in the world, depending on how much it costs. Here in Australia, this is what I paid for my droid. Alright, so we'll start with the printer itself, an Ender 3 Max. I didn't add this into the cost because you need a printer to start with, and that was $475. The rolls of PLA filament I used was $25 because I was buying them in 2 or 3 rolls at a time, roughly around about 25 rolls. I did have to print the dome again because I wasn't happy with the dome, and I had to reprint that, so around about 25. But now I get my rolls of filament for $16 to $17 because I buy packs of 10 at a time. The filament was, when I made it, was $625. Primer, same again, $25 a can. I used the good stuff. I could have bought cheaper stuff, but I thought with R2 I might as well use the best stuff. And honestly, it does show in the final product. If you use cheap stuff, it will show. I roughly used 12 cans, $300. Paint, same again. I could have used the cheaper paints. I used the Rust-Oleum paints, which was a good quality. They're about $15 a can. I used around about $820. The clear plastic DIY ornament, Christmas ornaments, they come in a 5-pack. They're about $14, and you'll need one of those for the radar eye lens, and you cut it and you put it in there. I bought a pack of 6 50mm clear half round glass domes, like 6-pack, for $4.39. That's, oh, hang on. That's what these things are, and they go in the hollow ejectors, so you can just see it in there. Miscellaneous things was about 110, which was bolts, washers, magnets for things to come, because you'll need magnets so these come off, those bolts, all the washers, and just stuff like that. Sandpaper for sanding as well, and you could probably put the Lazy Susan in there, was about $30 as well. So yeah, roughly about $110. So if you wanted a static droid with no lights in the dome, you're looking at around about $1,173. That's Australian dollars. If that was US, it would be $753 for a static droid. If you wanted dome lights in the droid, you're looking at about 260, sorry. That was what I paid from a guy. And of course you'll need something to power it, so you need a battery. The battery cost me nearly $35, and then you'll need something to charge the battery. That was another $32. So the battery and charger was $67. So a static droid with dome lights, you're looking at about $1,500 Australian, which was probably about an extra $30 or something on the US dollar. The chopping board is when you start with the electronics, because you need something that's not going to be conductive with electricity, because you don't want sparks jumping and stuff like that from board to board. So most guys in the club use a chopping board. You start with the Arduino Uno. You can get the Mega. I got the Uno. You need a host shield, which goes on top of that, and what that does is allows you to plug the Xbox controller receiver into it. This has no plug to plug the receiver into it. That's why you need your shield. A mono 100 watt digital amplifier for sound. A SparkFun red board, which is $36. What happens is you get like a little card, you save all your sounds or your music onto that, and you plug it into that, and then it'll play the sounds. I forgot to tell you the Arduino, this one, you download all your code into it, so all the drive commands, all the spinning of the dome, all that stuff. If you want doors open, stuff like that, all that gets programmed, all the sketches written. You just got to download it, and there's a few guys in the club that can give it to you. Saber-tooth 32, which was $236. This is one of the most expensive parts, simply because the motor controller allows you to drive R2 like a tank, which you can go forward, backwards, turn on the spot, turn the other way on the spot, and that's what it's designed to be, just like a tank. The Siren 10 controls the dome motor, which spins the dome around. I forgot to put the dome motor in this, but it was about $30. These components you can get a little bit cheaper. You can get the Saber-tooth 22 or 24, I think, something like that. But I heard this is the best one, so I've gone with the best. The slip ring, I think it was about $20, and that allows you to run electronics up from the board into the dome, and it allows the slip ring to move around and not get any wires cut, like cord or anything, or tangled. Sony 4-inch speakers is what I've got in him. They cost me $60. I went to a automotive shop and I was looking at the bargain bin, and yeah, they were in there cheap, so I got that. A ground loop oscillator cost me $30, which was the plugs into the amp, and when you play music or any sounds for R2 and he stops and there's nothing coming out of speakers, what that does is it stops any static coming back or any noise coming back other than what you want to play. So getting a good one of these is a great idea because you get no feedback or anything from it. MP3 trigger, that was 78. A DC 12 to 24 volt digital voltmeter, which was $14, and that allows you, that goes into the board and it shows you what voltage you have on the battery left. A mini sprocket chain wheel set, a 2-pack, which was $46. An extra chain. I did put a chain system in my feet, R2's feet, because I didn't like the printed gears, and I thought this was a bit more durable. Chain tool, which was $20. I suggest you get one of those. If you're going to put chains in it, you can get one of those because it saves you a lot of hassle and a lot of stuffing around. The foot drive motors, you need 209 each, which was 218. An Xbox controller and receiver, which was 55. I've heard some of the guys that get the receivers and they've got the aftermarket ones. Some of the aftermarket ones don't work. So if you're going to get one, I suggest you get one from Microsoft, and you should have a problem. I have another battery running the board because I've got 2 batteries, one running the dome lights, another one running the motors. That way the lights is not drawing power from the motors. Another battery was nearly 35. Miscellaneous things like some wires and stuff like that was about $40. You can probably put the dome motor in there too. So all the electronics was just over 1,000. It was 1,057. So all up, the remote control cost me $2,558, give or take. If that was in US dollars, it would be $1,641. Now, some of these things will vary depending on costs and where you are, of course, and how much you want to spend on it, basically, and filament and stuff like that. I used PLA. You can use different materials, a bit harder, but yeah, I found PLA fine. R2 roughly took me 6 to 7 months to build, well, print and glue together. Then it was probably another few months of sanding and stuff like that as well, so probably around about a year to get to this stage. But I highly recommend you, if you're thinking about doing, absolutely do it. I didn't know anything about 3D. This is when I first started R2. I was just getting into that 3D printing and stuff like that. And yeah, this was the first big project I did, and I just jumped in. You learn as you go, and you can do upgrades as you go and stuff like that. So big shout out to Mr. Badley too, Michael Badley, who designed this with the files. I'm a Patreon of his as well, so it helps him out. I got the files in there. But yeah, so yeah, roughly about a year's work to get to this point here. I did go off him a little bit with the electronics because it was during COVID. It was hard to get certain parts. There was a part shortage about a year or so ago. But yeah, then I finally got him to move around. So yeah, that's about it. So if you like this video, and just hit the like and just subscribe, because I tend to forget about all that stuff. So yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed the video, and it gives you a rough idea of how much you're going to spend to make an R2. But like I said, if you are thinking about doing it, do it, absolutely, 100%. So yeah, so I hope you liked the video, and until next time, thanks for watching.